everybody to join in on the chat. Today, we are going to be tackling a subject that is a little bit of a downer. If you're a fan of manga or anime, we're not going to really cover Toriyama's death, but we're going to cover the problems that people have been ignoring until Toriyama's death. Toriyama, of course, the creator of Dragon Ball, Sandland, what was the name of the Rayleigh comic? Wonder Woman. I'm blanking on it right now. We'll cover it a little bit later. But yeah, he passed over a month ago, and in fact, the message came out about a month ago. And yeah, if you want to, hear my viewpoints on Toriyama, what's missing from there, well, I kind of made them clear on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch upon the day of death, or notification of death. I'll cover a little bit of that today, but the key issue tonight is about, any creator, particularly mangaka, run the risk of serious health issues. And it's usually because, well, we're sitting on our ass all day for 7 to 8 days, 8 days a week. We throw in an extra day. 7 days a week. Honestly, I mean, how some of them even have social lives, I have to question. But yeah, I mean, it's not just a mangaka problem. It's not just a Japanese issue. It's an issue here in the US with South Korea creators. It's an ongoing issue. And I mean, it became more forefront with Toriyama's death. And people like Oda, of One Piece fame, basically saying, oh crap, I'm not that far off from where Akira Sensei was. Oh no! No. I shouldn't be laughing about it, but I mean, it's a sad truth. When we lose somebody that's close to us, even if they're not like someone we have a close relationship with, personally, just professionally, it wakes you up a bit. I mean, here I am, my own uncle passed literally around the same time as Toriyama. I kid you not. And yeah, I mean, it's a wake-up call on my family. So yeah. And I mean, I could be called out for hypocrisy here. I am literally one of the bad examples. I am well overweight. I have health issues out the wazoo. Some of them caused by weight. Some of them caused by, well, the poor genetic lottery pool that I got. More than likely, I mean, I'm adopted, so I can say, more than likely, mom, dad, from the 70s, knowing the police were involved in my birth, particularly, well, actually, more the penal system was involved in my birth. Drugs may have been involved. I hate to say it. I'm sure there were some drugs in my system when I was born. I don't doubt it. Would not surprise me. But, yeah, the overall health issue with creators, it's nothing creators don't want to really talk about. Because we have a work schedule. We have to get this crap out of here. We got deadlines, man. But with Toriyama's passing, and people like Oda waking up, and a lot of other people in the industry, I mean, we'll go through a list of mangaka that we've lost either through health issues or other issues. There's one that I honestly, he died, and I respect the man for what he died for. So, we'll cover it. And we're going to be drawing Witchin today. I decided I had chopped up between Demon Blade, which you can see in the sidebar here. I'm working on Demon Blade. I'm working on Witchin at the same time. Witchin being more of a straight comedy series. And our Demon Blade a little bit more action adventure. Yeah. But yeah, health problems with the artist communities. I mean, at one time, calling us fat basement dwellers probably was the right term. I can say I never lived in a basement. Mainly because there was no basement in any of my homes when I grew up. There was an attic. I tried to stay in the attic at my grandparents years ago. But they're like, no, it's not really furnished. A slight way of saying, you're gonna die of heat exhaustion in here. But yeah, as an artist who suffers from asthma, nerve damage, stomach issue that wants to basically make me hate food for the rest of my life. I say that as I'm doing something incredibly unhealthy and having jelly beans with this stream tonight. But I gotta finish them. Only way I can get rid of them is eat them. I could throw them away, but I don't feel like it. Damn it. I already don't get much left in my diet. But that's kind of an excuse. Yeah. Years ago, I remember probably 10 years ago? I don't know if it was that late. Oda made the same notification, sort of, or similar notification, because he had to quit smoking, which I don't think he fully did. But he was talking about, hey, I need to get out and play soccer. Dude has I'm gonna show you a schedule tonight. Oda's is worse. I mean, when you're the top selling creator of the world, yeah, you're probably gonna have a very difficult schedule. But yeah, once we got notified about Toriyama's passing, the week after it occurred, we learned that Oda was going to take almost a month break, which he needs. He needs. The dude is killing himself. We also have people like Toshi. I'm trying to remember his name. Creator of Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho. I want to make sure I'm getting his. Alright. I believe it's Toshi. Togashi. That's what it is. Yoshishiro Togashi. So, yeah. Togashi, he has health problems. there's a reason why Hunter x Hunter continues to be delayed. It's because of Tagashi's health problem. Let me, in fact, open that when we get to it. But yeah, when your job is literally to sit down and create stories, create art, and you have a deadline to get 16 plus pages out in a week, it is gonna kill you. I talked about this before. When I started Demon Blade, publicly. Well, I mean, I guess it was done a little bit before publicly, but when it went online for the first time, I did a mangaka challenge. I had to produce 16 pages of a comic from start to finish. I had to write it, draw it out, do whatever I needed to do, publish it, and get it out there in 7 days. It damn near killed me. But I did it. It takes a lot to do that. Especially when you don't have assistants. Now, bigger creators like Oda or even Toriyama himself would have assistants. But as we'll go over the timeline, you will see that doesn't mean squat. You're spending most of your time trying to just wake the hell up and get to drawing. It's demanding. It's demanding. Now me, I have a personal schedule to do this. But I work 40 hours a week at another job. So I can't do this every week, 16 pages a week. I could, but I wouldn't be able to pay the bill. So 40-hour work week for me on top of this job. And yeah, it's bound to kill. It's bound to kill. I hate to say it's bound to kill, but it is. It's a good way to break your body down and prepare you for pretty much any disease to catch up. It's true. When I could dedicate a lot more time to my work, I'd probably sleep 3 to 4 hours a night. And I'd be up till about 2 in the morning working, and then get up at 6 to go and do another job. And repeat that constantly. And when I didn't have a job, well, I'd be up all night doing the work till I literally passed out at my own artist tablet. I'd be like, wake up and be like, I didn't put that line there. Crap. It's dangerous to do that. It's dangerous to your health. Anytime, any job tells you, we're gonna, go without sleep for 3 days. That's not good on the body. I've had some people tell me, they're like, oh, no, that's no problem. I don't sleep at all. Like, bull. Even if you have sleep issues, you're gonna doze off. You're gonna have your body basically say, we're going to sleep. Or your body's gonna break down. And you're not gonna be in any kind of shape to do anything. The best way to say it is, for those who can drink, think of your worst night getting drunk. Now, take away the alcohol, but still keep the effects. That is what happened. I discovered after 3 nights of no sleep, I start hallucinating. I basically, it's been 3 or 4 times I've gotten to the point of hallucinating from lack of sleep. One time I imagined a building that did not exist as I was driving, and I was like, I need to go home and sleep. Another time I went to the hospital because I was in so much pain, and I was like, I don't know what time it is, because they didn't have a clock in there. But I thought they had a clock, and I predicted the exact time through my hallucinating. But there wasn't a clock there. But I thought I saw one. Most of the time, I've been working on my computer, usually typing, and I literally see the words on the screen move about. And that's when you know it's time to go to sleep. It's time to get at least a nap in. But that's the problem. When we're talking about a hefty work schedule, where you're having to commit to releases at a time that would pretty much make most people go, what? You only sleep 3 hours? And you function and work the next 21 hours? You only take breaks for food and poop? I mean, today I learned about the piss bag that some people use for podcasting and TV shows, news. It only works on men. So, ladies, you're out. But, yeah, I did not need to know that the industry literally has a way for a news person to pee while live on air. Yeah. Did not need to know that. But that's what comes up about things. When you go through and have to do anything at a long period of time, you're gonna try and find shortcuts to basic needs like food and bathroom. You may not bathe for several days. I hate to say it, yeah. I've gone a few days without bathing when I'm drawing kite. So, you're like, oh, why not bathe? Oh, well, that was like Tuesday, and today's Friday. Like, I need to get a bath. But yeah, the issue of health, I mean, health concerns are something that everybody needs to pay attention to with any job. The only way I could, somehow relate it to another job, I'd say truck drivers, maybe kind of like the crab fishermen on Deadliest Catch. really, really long-term stress jobs. Maybe even stakeouts for police, I guess. But these days I question if they're staking out anything other than a donut factory. Uh, yeah, joke. But yeah, the problem that we have to really address is it's not on the creator most of the time with these schedules. It's on the fan base. Shonen Jump is the #1 shonen magazine because it's the one most people think of. Even there's several shonen magazines and shoujo magazines that all have mangaka that have to do this weekly release. And it's not good on their body. It really isn't. And manga, the South Korean concept that we see a lot of on webtoons and other sites, they're not any better. Typically, though, most manga are done by teams and not individuals. While manga is usually done by one individual, maybe at best 3 assistants at best. And that's when they're the big money. They're not going to give multiple assistants other than maybe 1. And you'll even see, we'll go through the schedule and show. Assistants aren't always the answer. They don't always work with the artist. They usually only have like 1 or 2 days to work with them each week. And usually you give them stuff like do the background, do the toning for manga. I mean, given things these days are digital with a lot of creators, not too many creators note their digital use. Some creators, some still do hand-drawn, which is good. For the longest time, Oda, I know, did hand drawing, but when it comes to the colors, Oda's using Photoshop. I don't know the creator's name of My Hero, but I know My Hero, Aka's creator, uses clipping, like what we're using today. But yeah, it's stressful. And I mean, that stress kills you. It's no concerning. I mean, as I stated at the start, a lot of this is because we sit on our ass all day and draw and tell stories. Now, it's always interesting, in my opinion, to see how well some of these creators come up with stories each week to keep telling. I mean, a good way to practice it, if ever you're worried about, writer's block, is to kind of just have a journal of ideas, and if you're struggling with something, make sure you plan it out fully. So, like right now, we're not doing releases quick enough of Demon Blade. It's not a writer's block issue, because the story's already written. But my problem right now with it is having the time to draw. like I said, my uncle passed at the beginning of the month, literally last month. Literally at the pretty much the same time as Akira Toriyama's. On the 1st, and yeah. So it's life gets in the way. I mean, it's a great way to reuse the Jurassic Park meme of life finds a way. Life finds a way to get in your way as well. Just be like, hey, I know you wanted to, have a fun vacation and whatnot, but what if it rains? Yeah, it's that kind of crap. But, I mean, the more you experience practicing your comic ideas, for manga or whatever, you draw or write, it's important to have ideas, just even random ideas in a book, or somewhere written down. I tend to have them in computer files here and there, or even not, just little journals here and there. Like this very page we're working on. This part of the story for Witchin' I didn't really come up with until maybe 3 months ago. And Witchin' had already started at that point. I was just like, well, how are we going to tell the story between this point and this point? I know I was going to have Ida going on a shopping trip with Abigail, and Abigail was going to try and teach Ida the ways of womanhood, as Abigail sees it, mind you. So that's what the beginning of this chapter is pretty much is. It's set up, but it's also world building a little bit for me, because I get to talk about characters that'll come up later. We'll even do some flashbacks to other things, but it's setting. It's building up the setting, and that's sometimes what you need to do with a chapter. Last chapter, Demon Blade was set up. It was set up to introduce the character Kaji better to the audience and introduce Ruth, considering the two share a body. It's elements like that. You gotta kind of, sit back and be like, maybe we're not gonna do any action. Maybe the jokes are being just a little more upfront to this issue. Which will be the case in this case. And I have a lot more of upfront jokes in this chapter. Maybe 1 or 2 hidden jokes, but a lot of upfront jokes. But yeah, we're getting ready to our first topical moment. So let's get that popped up here. Nope, that's not it. Where am I? There we go. Alright, like I said, we're going to talk about Togashi first. Because let's start with a living. Togashi, most notably known for Yu Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter, and the lesser known Level E, in between the two of them. He is a great creator, a wonderful storyteller. He knows how to set up a character. But when he started Hunter x Hunter and got further through Hunter x Hunter, he started to have health issues, and that's been one of the biggest problems with Hunter x Hunter. Now, mind you, yeah, he's married to Makoto Takeuchi, the creator of Sailor Moon. That's something always you want to note, that yes, the two of them are married. They've been married. They've had a happy life, from what I can tell. Basically, let's see, I'm trying to see. Okay. You suffered from an immense amount of stress when working on Yu Yu Hakusho, which was given. Inconsistent sleep patterns and chest pain. If you are a mangaka and you're running, or a creator, and you're working on the sleep pattern, like I said, you're gonna feel those chest pains. You're gonna get those weird sleep patterns. I mean, you don't even have to be a creator. Sometimes if you're working retail, I mean, one of my retail jobs years ago, I would have shifts where I'd be working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sometimes later. Sometimes to midnight. And it's like, seriously? I have not had a chance to poop, let alone sleep or eat. And you've got me coming in the next day, bright and early, 9 a.m., after working all the way to midnight, from 9 to 9, for when the store's open, and I still have to do a lot of work till midnight. It's just like, no, that's just wrong. But that's what you do in the industry. It's part of Japan's work ethic, sadly. But yeah, he's also had issues with back, which, you're an artist. You're gonna be slouching. I don't know a single artist who doesn't have back issues, because you're slouching. You don't draw at a perfect posture. I say as I try to arc my back properly for posture, and just be like, nope, my back hurts. My back hurts because of my day job today. But yeah, it's health issues are gonna come up, and they're gonna be a problem. And that's what's delayed Hunter x Hunter, but it gets worse for certain situations. So let's go to Toriyama. Toriyama, do I really need to say much about his career? The dude created Dragon Ball. Number one, Dr. Slump. Okay, that's what I was missing on the title. Dr. Slump and Sandland were probably the most well-known, Dragon Ball being the number one. Of course. And then he also did the character designs for Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger, and Blue Dragon. It's... the dude was a creating nightmare. Creative nightmare. He'd push out... I mean, mind you, his style is very recognizable. But he would push out drawings constantly. For most of his life. And yeah, I mean, at the age of 68, he died. So let's go into the depths of it. It's kind of why I wanted to not touch this one last week, but this week. I wanted to give it a month to go over more the issues that would come from his death, that would come to light, more than likely. I mean, at the age of 23, he was found. So the year I was born, he started creating. And it started mostly with a bunch of little ideas until he got to Dr. Slump. Dr. Slump ran from 80 to 84. And after Slump, he got into Dragon Ball, which has several, crossovers with Dr. Slump. But let's get down to his health issues. So, short stories project. Look at all that stuff there. All right. So, Toriyama died of hematoma. Basically, a blood hemorrhage in the brain. They apparently were planning for surgery due to a brain tumor. And, well, it just broke him. I'm trying to say this. And the dude's death was one that you see in people in their 80s to 90s. You don't see it in the 70s, and you don't see him in your 60s. And considering he was in the 60s, it goes to show that you got a clock. And more than likely, how do you get a clock? You're sitting in a chair for countless hours. How many hours? Well, we have a nice little schedule here. This is a basic, I have to say, basic mangaka schedule. There's a lot more sleeping here than you get from the bigger names. So you have Sunday, right here. That gray area, that's sleep. 2 hours. 2 hours sleep. 1 meal break. All the blue, working on thumbnails, with the exception of 2 hours. So equal to your sleep you're spending with your editor. Yeah. That's one day. That's Sunday. Oh, no, that's Monday. I see it's Monday. Okay, yeah, it's Monday. Then on Tuesday, you have at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're getting 7 hours of sleep. So they're getting a reasonable time to get sleep. But then they have 2 meals. Wow, 2 meals. Wow. Put another 2 hours with your editor. So you spend as much time in your meals as your editing. And in that point, the rest of your time is on thumbnails or working on a color page or cover. So, yeah, I can say my own work usually it takes me about maybe 2-3 hours to finish a page of Demon Blade, which is black and white, which is because I'm using it because it's similar to manga setup. So 2 to 3 hours to do a page, and that's me having done this for years, so I know what I'm drawing. But if you're sketchy, you have trouble visualizing that, you ain't got the time. You gotta go to work. To do a cover page, you need it to draw the audience's attention. So you need that to be one of the more powerful pages drawn. And they give 8, 9, 10, 11 hours to a cover. Kind of reasonable, a little too lenient, I think. But yeah. And then they get some sleep. Oh, they get to wake up and have a meal. But then what do? Time that the assistants are helping. So basically Wednesday to Saturday morning, like early morning. They leave at 6 on the schedule. You have assistants. And they're helping draw, they're helping do the inking, all that. That's if you have assistants. If you don't, that's all you. That's your work. You get 2 meals. Again, looks like about 5 hours sleep for 2 days each. Then you get a longer sleep schedule on Saturday, because once the assistants are done, you're kind of done with that comic. You can get some rest. Much needed rest. Then you have a meal. And finally, you have 3 whole hours in the whole week to do something else. You know, bathe, do laundry, get some groceries. Or in the case here, not spent working on comic. You know, 3 whole hours out of 7 days. Total hours. And for someone like Utagashi, who is a fan of Dragon Quest, you ain't getting through Dragon Quest in 3 hours. No. You're barely seeing a movie in that 3 hours. Which means you're sitting down to watch a movie. I'd be like, dude, I need to sleep. But then, when that's done, guess what? You get to work again. More thumbnail working. Gotta work on the next issue. After you have your 3-hour meeting with the editor. But guess what? You don't have to deal with your editor for all of Sunday. You didn't have to deal with them Wednesday through Friday, unless someone done effed up. Yeah. This is not a schedule to follow in one's life. This is torture. There's a little more sleep in here, like I said, than I would expect. Let's see if we can find Oda's schedule, because I know they have it out there. Alright. I want to see. Okay, that's release schedules. No. That's not what I want. That's not what I wanted. Work schedule. Let's see if there's an image of his work schedule. That's the one we have. No, that's not it. I remember it was like 2 hours several weeks. And it's like, you asleep. The man practically kills himself to do this work. It's unheard of. How I wish Oda's crazy work schedule, maybe. Let's see here. Let's see if this pulls us in here. Wake up at 5 a.m. Start working. Continue working throughout the day. Go to bed at 2 a.m. 3 hours of sleep. 3 hours of sleep a day. Although my day activity is pretty hectic, however, he doesn't exactly do the same thing every day. So Monday through Wednesday, it's layout and planning, and character dialogue. Thursday through Saturday, it's drawing and inking. Sunday, it's coloring and other tasks. Dude works 7 days a week from 5 a.m. to 2 a.m. That is not life. That is not living life. So when Oda came out after Toriyama's death and said, I'm gonna take some time to not be killing myself on my work. I don't know. I haven't heard too many fans curse him out for that. It's understandable. The man's health has been issue. He's had throat issues. He's had lung issues, being a heavy smoker. But it's gonna happen. Tagashi's a great example. The dude barely can work, and he was at it a little bit longer than Oda in the industry. So I mean, you're talking he started around the 80s and doing Yu Yu Hakusho and carried on all the way through the 90s into the 2000s, and that's when his health started acting up. And Tagashi, yeah, Tagashi and who's the other one? Kudo, the creator of Bleach. They both got some really crappy editors that screwed them over. But we're gonna get back to art because we kind of covered the subject a little longer than I would care. But we'll come back and we'll go over some of the artists that die or have died on us. One that I'm kind of surprised keeps getting left off on lists. The creator of Berserk, for some reason. I've been seeing all these lists and they're like, oh, the creator of this lesser known series. I'm like, dude, the creator of Berserk died in his working on his comic. So don't diss Berserk. That comic is an artistic thing of beauty. I mean, he is an illustrator through and through. I say as I shove another jelly bean in my mouth. Not in good health. Like I said, not a good prime example of health. But I've got to work on it. I mean, part of the reason for right now for me to do jelly beans, I got up at my usual schedule about 6:30 this morning. Got ready, went to my job, and today at my job, I had to do. My job is usually sitting at a desk, filling out paperwork, and today's job, I had to make sure all the paperwork was properly sorted, and this was paperwork from ex-employees, and it's like, Joy, I have to go through about 300 books in our filing system, and then when that's done, I have to go through envelopes in our filing system. Yay! Needless to say, my back hurts because I was running around from one place to another carrying the books. Our books aren't that heavy. They're probably about 2 pounds. The job before this, that would kill you, because that was carrying auto parts, and some of those things, batteries, that nearly killed me. That literally nearly killed me several times. What the batteries really is, I mean, I have permanent damage to some toes, but that has nothing to do with batteries. I will say that, because if it were a battery that did it, I wouldn't have those toes. Those toes would have been gone. But yeah, I literally, the job I had before this one was me going about carrying auto parts to be delivered to different stores, lifting about 75 pounds plus at times. Yeah, and the nerve damage hit me, and I couldn't do that no more. I was like, yeah, I I can do little things. And it's like, yeah, we don't think we could use you anymore if you're not able to carry more than 10. But I mean that's the job market. You gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes it's degrading. I mean, I had some pretty crappy jobs. Answering telephones was one of the worst. Because I seriously sat there and questioned, it's like, this is already capable with a computer. This was 2013? Yeah, around there. Yeah. Oh, no. 2016. It's 2016. Yeah. I was like, computers can already answer the phone and transfer the phone. Why am I still doing this? And the fact that it's like, phone call came after one another. It just kind of wrecks you a bit. Mentally. Because it's like, you don't get to breathe. It's once you hang up, you got another customer. And yeah. My current job, I usually handle about 20 cases in a day for the state. And it's like, okay, I gotta go work, do the paperwork on this. Okay, yeah, not a problem. Light typing. It's not even a full page of typing. So, yeah, it's some light typing. I enjoy it. There are definitely way harder jobs out there. And the fact that I can listen to podcasts or music while I work, that helps. Because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work on somebody's stuff and focus on, whatever I'm listening to. How things are going on in the world. Or in the case of Trash Case this past week, yeah, I like Trash Chase. This week's subject was a little, it was fan recommended hentai. I was like, I'd rather not listen to fan requested hentai. Teach your own, I have nothing against hentai, but there's some pretty bad hentai. And I know fans, they're gonna recommend some of that really bad hentai. But, I mean, to hear 3 grown adult men talk about the hentai like it's some artistic moment. And it's like, no. It's just to get to the screwing part. It's just to get the boot knocking. That's all. We don't care. When was the last time you watched a porno and you wanted to watch the plot? Okay? You turn it on for one thing, and one thing only. It ain't for plot. Maybe the plot in her freaking, sweater there. Maybe the plot right down here. But this plot right here. Wait, let me see if I can get it right. No. Lower. See, my hand won't even do it. Right here. This plot right here. That plot. Maybe. But yeah, that was a hard lesson. That was a hard lesson this week. And it's only Tuesday. Friday's episode, but I usually don't get to it until Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday because I don't listen to podcasts on the weekend because I have YouTube, Netflix, Prime, and for the moment, Disney Plus. Yeah. I've tried Disney Plus twice now. I am not a fan. I am definitely not a fan of both the integration, the selection, and the pricing. I at one point, I don't have it now because I don't have Discovery still now. I chose Discovery over Disney Plus because Disney Plus had a very small selection of stuff that I wanted to watch, while Discovery had a much larger and was cheaper. I mean, give me reruns of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives over some crappy TV Disney movie that was made to only attract tweens. Yeah. Even my tweens, I didn't go that crazy. Now, you kind of write/draw from experience, and Edith not knowing what they want out of a relationship at college age? Yeah, it's me. I had no idea what I wanted in relationships. I know now, but it's like chasing a freaking rainbow. It's near impossible. I started Facebook dating about 2 weeks ago, and I really don't like much about the Facebook dating. I'll give it that it's free. Best dating site as far as being free. And technically, to be on Facebook dating, you have to have a Facebook account. So whatever you put on the Facebook account, the person technically can see. So, it's a little more in-depth than most dating sites would do, but I literally spent the first week trying to figure out how I even message or look at people. Because Facebook is horrible for the layout and its dating sites. Have I had any success chatting people? Kind of. I've chatted with 2 people. Nothing's come of it. I think one person learned, hey, you're trans. Like, screw you. Go away. It wasn't they were interested in trans. It was just the opposite. It's like, so that's what you are. Like, damn. I kind of was into you. Like, now I know. Nope. Yep. There goes my dating. But I have to state, I go out there with it out and open. I don't want to have that excuse that the person gets ugly with me with saying, oh, they never knew. Like, no, I'm trans. I've been trans for several years. I live full time. I try to look my best. There are some mornings it's just not capable. Tomorrow morning may be one of those days, depending on how well I feel after I get off here. But yeah, I'm not expecting much from Facebook dating. The fact that I have trouble getting the notifications to go away after I've read them, like 40 times, read them, and it still says, you have a new notification. It's like, no, it's the same message that's been there for the last 2 days. Stop letting me know about that message. But, yeah. And it also didn't help when they kind of just were like, when I signed up, it's like, who are you into? And me, I'm into guys, so I was like, yeah, I want to find a guy who's looking for a trans woman. And unfortunately, as soon as I hit guys into trans women, it automatically selected all guys. I was like, no, I don't want to do a shock reveal to somebody. I want them to know going in, yes, this is who I am. If you don't care for that kind of relationship, then I am not the right choice. It is not for me to force someone else to have a relationship with me. It's ugly. I mean, when I came out, I had to do a lot of research, and we had a lot of cases of the surprise argument, which is, you know, things get hot and heavy in a relationship, and lo and behold, something's there that they weren't expecting, and that's when somebody usually dies, sadly. And the argument tends to be in court that was getting away from them. I didn't know. It was a surprise. So once I found out, I had to fight for my life. I had to kill that person. Like, no. You could have just said, no, I'm not interested. But no, you went the violent route. And somehow courts were like, oh, well, that makes all sense. Let's not, persecute you anymore. You had a shock moment. It's like, no, they murdered someone. It's still murder. But that's the world. And try as we might, we can't change all the world. We can do better on our part, but likelihood of doing anything that'll change the world individually ain't happening. Kind of rushed the finger job on this character. I don't even remember her name, and I'm drawing her. I know I have a name for her. And you get a good look of her right there. Facebook. A minor character in Witchin. It gets introduced. She'll make appearances here and there. But I don't have any big plans with her. She's gonna be the quote-unquote stereotypical goth / witch kind of personality and a story where a witch really exists, but it's not like that. So it's, the ironic look at the character. But when she's introduced, she is not very friendly to anybody. Which is why she's shouting. But it's another one of those people who August will introduce Ida to. I know a lot of people who read and on my DeviantArt page voted in a poll. We're gonna have some more Esme, and that's simply because more people wanted her a bit more in the polling I've done. So what wasn't gonna be a bit of Esme in this chapter will be Esme being Ida's boss, and Ida's basically the protege to Esme. So fellow witch, we're gonna get a little bit of and I literally brought this idea in my head literally 2 days ago. I mean, since this whole chapter is about Ida being more feminine, more womanly, he's gonna make her have to learn a style of how to cast magic. It's embarrassing. But goes wrong with the jokes, and it's how you play out the characters. It allows me to have a little bit more Esme, and even show a bit with her husband, who's also a magic user. Basically, Abigail will take Ida, and both of them will go to have some lunch at Juan's, and Esme will tell her to accompany her to test her magical skill. Yeah, Ida's technically should be behind Abigail here, so there's no reason that Shoulder's not here. Hold on a second. That's not right. There. Doing a fish out of water kind of story, which is very much what the beginning of Witchin' is. It's very easy to write, but at the same time, you kind of, if you put it in a realistic setting, like I have it here, you kind of have to keep in mind the main character, or the character you've got to fish out of water scenario. They might not understand things. Technology, how people act, something like that. In this case, they're in a computer store. The school computer store. But a computer store nonetheless. And Ida grew up, behind the magical veil, as we've established. And she pretty much would not understand much about technology with her raising. Some witches and warlocks will. namely, you know, they'll be introduced later. Ida's friend from, growing up, called Rylan. You will meet them later. They, being a child of half magic born, half non, knows more about technology and understands how things work around the world. This is Ida's first time coming across a tablet, literally in this panel, and in this next panel. I'm not going the route with Mai from Demon Blade. In the case of Mai, when I introduced her and I first gave her technology, Mai came from a different time where technology didn't exist in that way at all. There's not even a hint of that kind of technology. So Mai despises tech in Demon Blade. She's literally using it as a magical tool in the current chapter, but even then she doesn't refer to it, and every time she does something with it, it's gonna go haywire, or break, or bust, because Mai doesn't trust tech. He really doesn't. Her sister, who grew up through the times, watched the world evolve, she has an understanding. But Mai's cursed. Ida won't be that way. Ida will find a fascination, and being a very, I guess, knowledge otaku would be the best word. Sort of someone who loves to learn. Ida would definitely be willing to learn about it and learn how to use it, which is important because she needs it for work, she needs it for college, and it's expected these days, and so it will be expected of the characters. And Ida's whole goal through the comics is to find a way to use the human technology and blend it with magic. So they definitely would learn and not fear it. But Mai ain't gonna learn it. Mai refuses to learn it. The most she's learned is there's a TV and it shows her pictures that tell stories. That's it. She wants no part of video games. She wants no part of telecommunicating. She will not believe from chapter 3 when it was shown. She will not believe that Tetsu's mother doesn't live inside a box. Because Tetsu's mother's always on travel and always calls video calls to Tetsu. And usually it's arguments and whatnot. But coming, what is it, chapter 14? The Christmas chapter. Will be the first time Mai meets Tetsu's mom not in the box. And she'll be like, how'd you get out? It's the fish out of water. I mean, as a creator, it's a very common trope in stories. Very, very overused. But I mean, it's overused because there are points in everybody's life that we have a fish out of water moment where we're in a new situation that we don't know quite about. College would be one of those. Let alone being something that most of the world despises. In the case of witching. So trying to prove your worth in a situation that you're a fish out of water when the people around you despise you. I mean, that's a challenge. And that's the more serious element of witching out there. That's when I began writing it. I was like, yep, this is the story. They're gonna be tracing, I mean, it's a little bit of covering sort of individual hates. Be it, racism, religion, any other reasons people hate each other. And so that's Witchin's gonna cover that several times. I hate to say it, but yeah, Demon Blade doesn't cover that. Demon Blade, it's more about inner self reflection. This one has inner self reflection too, but it's more about bonding and making connections in Demon Blade and finding ways to accept yourself. And accept the past that's happened to you. There's not going to be much reflecting on the past in Witchin. It's mainly going to be looking towards the future. What are your plans in life? What do you want to do with yourself? So, yeah. But, let's get back to the subject at hand. Let's see here. I'm going to close off Tagashi's stuff and Oda's schedule. We'll even close off Kira's thing here. Close it off. Close that. Come on. Close it. We're gonna hit upon a subject. Why am I frozen? Hello? Great, I'm frozen. I don't know when it'll come back. Something happened. Don't know what. We'll see. Yeah, okay, it's starting? No. There's some movement? I don't know what's going on here. Calibrate? Nope. No. Alright, we won't worry about it too much. It'll be sound only. But, let's get to the internet first. So, 10 manga artists. Why did you just go away from it? I wanted to stay on that page. 10 manga artists who died before finishing their masterpiece. You have to use air quotes here. And like I said, I believe there's one glaring one we have to talk about. But, Familiar Zero. Alright, let me just flat out and say it. Familiar Zero, not a masterpiece. It's okay, but it is not a masterpiece. But yeah, the creator, I think it's a light novel, it looks like. He got cancer, and sadly he passed. Tomohiro Matsu, Hinata Illusion. His death was due to liver cancer. Again, cancer, health issues. Well, it's like, Takeda Kata, 08 MST. One of the better Gundam series is the 08, in my opinions. And yeah, we lost him. Unfortunately, we lost him due to a car accident. So he died not of health problems. And we'll hit some others here, including the next one that died not of health issues, to our knowledge. Yoshihiro Usai of Crayon Shin-chan. If you grew up in the 90s to 2000 and watched Adult Swim, I think it was on Adult Swim. I don't think they put it on Toonami. Crayon Shin-chan was released by Funimation on Cartoon Network, and it was an intentional bad dub, where they redubbed and put in more political humor, and made it a bit more of an adult series. But Crayon Shin always is a little bit of a kid with some adult tendencies. But yeah, he died. We don't really know what killed him. It could have been a heart attack, but he died on a hiking incident. He could have fallen. I think a lot of people said he fell, and died when he was out hiking, which it's sad. It's sad. It's tragic. Shintaro Isunamori of Cyborg 09 passed away. Heart attack, heart failure, just like we had with a couple other people. I wanted to say Toriyama, but Toriyama was more an aneurysm. So Ken Ashwag, Greater Robo. He was out golfing and collapsed. Very much could have been a clot. Very common. Karu Tanada, Inzura Kiss. One of the few shoujo that we're gonna list here. Yeah. Let's see what they said. Oh, she hit her head. Oh god. She hit her head exercising and smacked it open. Went into a coma. 3 weeks later, passed away. That. And she was only 38. Let me show Nosuke Ide. Okay, they're throwing a director in here, and yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of directors that have died in the process. It's not unheard of. It doesn't say what happened to him, so we don't know. Satsuhushi Kong, Dreaming Machine, and he's the creator of, or he's worked on Paprika, Perfect Blue, Paranormal Agent. He had cancer, so that's another story. The father of anime, as they call, Osamu Tezuka, died while he was working on Phoenix. Creator of Astro Boy, and is it White Line? I forget what they called it. Kemba the White Line, yeah. Unico, couple other series. It just said sudden ending. I was bad. The man was a legend. Like I said, the creator anime, as most people call, even though he's not. He's more one of the top manga artists. I don't know why are we trying to cut off a freaking ad. And then we get Akira Toriyama. Now, the names missing. We're gonna hit some of those. Most notably, Kentaro Morai, the creator of Berserk. Berserk is, like I said, one of the most beautifully artistic series ever. The dude knew how to draw. Impressive levels of drawing. Unfortunately, he died. What did he die of? Let me see. Arteritic dysfunction, pretty much. Aneurysm, essentially, from what I can understand. Let's see. Well, not aneurysm in the brain, but blood clot. Blood clot. Pretty much the same that we said with Akira. It's a blood clot. And when you sit all day, that's a threat. That is a serious threat of getting a blood clot. And we lost him. Now, one that I have to respect that passed. Kazuzuki Tanaka Hashi. You know him as the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! The man died, but he didn't die of a health condition. He actually died while swimming. He died while saving 2 kids' lives. So, you gotta give mad respect to someone who sacrificed his life to save 2 others. And, I mean, as silly as Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, I give mad respect to Kazuki because of how he lived and how he chose to die. Bravo, man. Bravo. We cover Kentaro. This is used, the creator of Crayon Shin. Let me see. We're going to Wikipedia, see if it gives a better understanding of what happened in his death. He did not return from his hiking. Just reported by the family at the bottom of the cliff. Yeah, he fell. He fell. It seems like. So basically, the cliff gave out probably, and he fell to his death. And yeah, it's not unheard of for a creator to die of non-health issues, but let's see, where is it? This is the average lifespan in Japan, 84.91 years. The average mangaka lifespan is in the 60s, 20 years less. And it's because of the work health lifestyle. So this is the biggest problem for mangaka in the industry. If Japan keeps its work ethic the way it's been with the manga industry, you're going to see a lot more creators die, and notable creators. And it's going to be because aneurysms, blood clots. It's not unheard of. It's sad, but yeah, it's the number 1 killer of mangaka is our inactivity, our sitting in a chair all day for several hours a day, no sleep, no food. Well, you're probably eating while you draw, and it says you only have like 1 hour meal break in some of those reports, or 2 throughout the day. you're probably snacking on something. I do. That's why I have the jelly beans. That to keep me awake because I am exhausted today. But yeah, it's sad, but the sedentary lifestyle of a mangaka is what kills. And until Japan really looks at it for its creators, its artists, it's not just mangaka, it's animators in the industry, which also depression and anxiety will kill. Japan has a horrible mental health setup. They are not good with any psychological issues that plague. I mean, there's a reason why Japan has a high suicide rate. It's a lot of mental health issues do not get addressed in Japan. And a lot of it could be brought back to black companies that literally work their workers to death. Which one could say, comics and manga, we demand every week to have new chapters of stuff, but it's killing the creators. And this isn't like American property, like the American comics. I mean, given Jack Kirby was probably brought to an early grave by his work. And he's the creator of several Marvel characters. He probably was driven to an early grave because of his work. The man was a notable legend in the art community. There's a reason why we call it the Kirby Crackle. When we do, I can literally pull up a Kirby Crackle because I've got them listed in here. It's one of the things I want to make sure I keep in here. So, effect. Yeah. Well, let's do a different color so it's a little more notable. This is a Kirby Crackle. Those are Kirby Crackles. Kirby created those to use in space and when powers are being used in the comics. And they're rightfully called Kirby Crackles. It's sad to see, but I mean, that's what happens. And a lot of people think, oh, you're some comic artist, you make a lot of money. It is rare for a lot of money. In fact, with the exception of Oda, and I'll even include Rukumo Takahashi in that, most artists do not make a lot of money. They make enough to live off of. Barely. And if you're in America, even less. You need somebody else to have a job or have a backup job yourself just to support. I mean, that's why I work a 40-hour work week instead of doing comics all week. I can't afford it. I could pump out the comics a lot faster, yeah. But, I mean, I make effectively $500 a week at my job. My rent alone is almost $1,200, and I'm not in a huge city. That's just my rent. That doesn't include food, internet, electricity, all that are needed to make this stuff. So, on top of that, I have to pay for the model, which isn't working right now. I have to pay for the streaming connection. It's, you know, each little thing costs a little bit of money. To get published costs some money. Especially if you're doing an indie. You need advertisements. You need all these things. I lucked out with working with Amazon for years on publishing content with them. That I was able to trust them when they were like, yeah, we can now do print. I was like, good, let's do that. They saved me some money. And what I do, I still have to advertise on my own. It's the only way I can get advertisement work. But comic work, it is not something you go into expecting money. You should not come in and expect, oh, well, my comic's going to be the next big series. No. At most, you'll get noticed by people. I hate to say it. I wasn't able to find you get noticed. Shut up. Music library. Shut up. We didn't ask you. I have more ghost stories. That just reminded me of ghost stories. Ghost stories of my apartment. How it's haunted. I'm still not convinced. But definitely some weird crap going around here. But I'll save that for another stream. When you think about an art and you do a comic, I mean, I started witching because I wanted to tell a witching. Wanted to tell the story. I went to sleep, had a dream about it. I was like, cool. And we literally created Ida live on stream back in 2022. Something witchy this way comes. You can go check out the episode. We created her live. We perfected her off stream, but we created her live. There are other ideas. I mean, there's stuff I've done that I'm like, no, this isn't a comic. This is more of a novel or a story. Stuff like Mobster X Maid Girl. More of a story than comic. Because it takes forever to tell the story. Same with 11 Kingdoms. I do plan to get the novel out for republication this year. And same with another series I'm working on, which we hinted on. We were going to do an RPG series on, but we're just going to do it as a story now, which is Shattered World of the Uninvited. That entire story, that's not going to be a comic. I'm not going to spend time drawing out the characters. I'm drawing them, but I draw more realistic. Because it's a hard, sort of gritty isekai story. Which, with my style of art, just, you will not catch me doing hard and gritty. There might be some hard and gritty issues of Demon Blade. There might be a subject in Witchin' where it gets a little bit hard and gritty. But you're not going to see much of it. Because I don't draw that way. I draw more fluidic, bringing expression into the body and face. Whereas you'd have to have something more serious, almost Kirkman-like, to tell the story. I don't mind getting that dark in story writing, but in comic work, I just appreciate a little bit of humor there. I follow one of the artists that I admired and noted that I admired for years was Takahashi. Like I said her name earlier. Takahashi once said, if she feels she's getting too serious in a theme, she'll draw something stupid in the corner. Silly, stupid. Because she feels like, no, you gotta have some humor, even when it's dark. And I respected that. Now, she's changed that a bit since Inuyasha. When she started Inuyasha, is far darker and wasn't as romantically inclined at the beginning. It was more sort of little bit of horror based, but I could tell somewhere along the lines it went, maybe by her, maybe by her editor, to become more romantically inclined, which most people love Inuyasha for the romance. I hated it. I loved Inuyasha as a manga when it started. When it ended, no. I felt it's like, all right, you just turned it into a romance. I was like, I don't hate romance. I cry and love Fruit Basket. Amazing romance story. I just felt Inuyasha, I was getting a grittier story. And then we went to lighthearted romance and with action. And it's like, okay, you took the grit away. Which is what you started with. And it's like, And I honestly haven't checked out her other series. I know she's got, 3 or 4 since. Not checked them out. And she's a woman that, good lord, her schedule was bad. And she drew not 1, but 2 comics at the same time. She drew Rama 1/2 and Meizana Koku, or Urusei Yatsura and Meizana Koku at the same time. Now, Meizan was done monthly, while Rama 1/2 and Urusei Yatsura were done weekly. But how the hell, if you're doing a weekly, you have time to go, I could also add a monthly. And I mean, she's reported, at its peak of Urusei Yatsura, she was sleeping under the desk along with her assistants. They had a 1-bedroom apartment to work from. And they slept under their desks when they needed to sleep. That woman's got balls. She is tough. Because, I tell you right now, I look at my desk, even if I cleared it out, that ain't comfortable. Now, my ass is 5'11", so I don't think well, I know I don't fit underneath completely. And it doesn't help that it's a bent L-shaped desk. So, maybe the desk I had back in the 90s, I could do it, because it was a little longer, and heavier duty stuff in it, but yeah, this desk, an L shape from Amazon, when it was on sale. Nah. It ain't working as a bed for me. And at my age, I need a bed. I may have spent the last year sleeping in the back of my car, but I at least made a bed out of it. But, yeah. I kind of want to do this a little more cartoony version of Ida. Like, hey, I can move this thing around with my finger. Like, yeah, technology. I gotta have her be childlike in this scene. That she's just impressed with new things. The irony of this chapter is going to be, it's all about Ida learning Abigail's concept of how to be a woman. And I literally breezed by the outer stuff. Mainly because I do have a backstory, and I'll get to it, of where Ida's clothes come from. I talk about it in this chapter, and the character that's involved will appear later. I'm just kind of working out their personality a bit, as well as their look. But it's a witch tailor that Ida befriended and basically made a deal. It said, yeah, I'll wear your clothes and promote your work to the public as I'm out there. So it's she's got a personal stylist. That on top of a very amusing first 2-page spoof on Ida's magic and the spell she has on her. But I mean, it's a key point that's going to cover between this chapter and the next one. That spell for Theodore to look like Ida can be altered, but not physically altered. Meaning you can't try and cut something off. The magic has it sort of pre-loaded as to how you look. Overall. But yeah. We're getting towards the end. I'm going to cover something we didn't do last week. Before we go. It's something I committed to doing before. And since we had such a serious subject today, I had to cover it. I had to go back to it. So, weird news of the week. More weird news of a lifetime. Cicadas, nature's weirdos, they pee stronger than us. And an STD turns them into zombies. Yeah. Basically, with all this hullabaloo that's been going about with the eclipse being the end of the world, I've not heard that in several thousand years. Yeah. Cicadas come out in groups, each year. This is the first time in 100 years this group has come out. Well, 200 years. This group has come out at the same time. One of which is infected by a fungal infection that makes them live as zombies. Or basically, the fungus controls their mind and tries to pass itself to other cicadas. It's really creepy, weird, and strange. But cicadas are an annual summer thing. If ever you watch an anime with a summer theme or summer time going on, you'll hear cicadas. They'll do the little type noise. They'll do it in games too. I mean, Animal Crossing, they're out there. I did not need to know about the peeing part of this. AP, why you had to put that into the story, not that relevant. We just needed to know, yes, the two groups are coming out, one of which we know has been infected by fungal zombie virus. So very much The Last of Us, because The Last of Us used that plot as their basis, that a fungal infection creates zombies. Because this is the basis of them. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of cicadas with weird things on their bodies. They're zombies. Just ignore them. They're zombies. Yeah. Just ignore that zombie invasion. It's not that important. But yeah, they're coming out. We're gonna have a loud summer. It's basically what they're putting it down. You're gonna have two groups of cicadas come out at the same time. It's gonna be a loud summer. So yeah, we're gonna see that. It's strange, but I hate to say it, it's been relatively quiet in the weird news from what I've been seeing. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, many people would be like, oh, well, the earthquake in New York, well, technically New Jersey, the other day, that was weird. It's like, no, it's on a fault line. I mean, hell, I'm in Virginia. There was an earthquake last night on me. Well, not on me, but right around the corner from me. We had like a 2.8. It wasn't a big one, but it's still an earthquake. We don't get them as frequently, but we've been getting them frequently, so it means the plates are definitely rubbing, and there's some serious movement. So yeah, we might see a bigger one on the East Coast, which anything above a 6 is unheard of for the East Coast. It's just unheard of. On the West Coast, yeah, you're used to 6s. East Coast, we're not. It could devastate the East Coast because the buildings aren't built for earthquakes on the East Coast. I mean, there was also the Statue of Liberty the other day was struck by lightning. Really cool pictures. Let me see if I can find those. Liberty struck by lightning. Yeah, there you go. Really, really cool pictures. Of it being struck by lightning. Creepy. Cool. But yeah, it happened. It literally happened last week. 4 days ago. It happened 4 days ago. So, yeah. Lightning struck the statue. from the torch. I don't know if we can show the video because technically it is owned. I definitely don't want to show commercials. But yeah, strange, not weird. So the weird news has been quiet. Now, I'm not been searching for like Florida Man or Ohio news, which is where we seem to get some really freak show activity. But yeah, I'm gonna try and start bringing some more weird ones, and just to bring it a little cheer at the end. But yeah, get out and touch some grass. If you're an artist, get up and exercise. And I'm gonna have to take that advice myself, because I ain't in good health either. And I'm getting up there. I am gonna be 46 this year. And my health ain't good. So, yeah, make sure you're active a bit. Don't just sit at your desk. Take your art and draw standing for a little bit. We've got tablets for a reason. Go out and use them. But as always, when I end these streams, go out there and be the best you that you can be. That doesn't mean you need to go out and do something to really change you. No, it just means do something that will improve you, or do some good in your life. Something that you can be proud of. It doesn't have to be a work, it doesn't have to be anything else. It just means doing something that you can be like, yeah, I did something good today. Do that. And until then, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, wonderful week, and a wonderful year. We'll be back on Friday. Sorry for the drop on Saturday. My health was so bad, I couldn't draw. So, yeah. But we will try it again this Saturday. We'll be back on Friday with more Stardew Valley as we play through into the summer. So, we might hear some cicada then. Alright, good night, everybody.